Hi everyone and welcome back. In this video we're going to introduce a new angle relationship, the linear pair. So previously we have talked about supplementary angles, right? Supplementary angles are a pair of angles that add up to 180. But there's a special kind of supplementary relationship which is not just supplementary but adjacent. So if you remember from the past, when we did supplementary angles, some of you noticed if I start with a straight line, right, and I add another straight line to it, these are guaranteed to be supplementary because the straight line is 180 degrees, if you remember. An angle that's 180 degrees unfolds to be straight line. So if I just add one more line in the middle, I've divided it into two angles, one on the left, right, and one on the right that add up to 180. So in this case, if this was 120, I would know this has to be 60, right? So we're taking advantage of that fact that we discovered from the past. This is what we call a linear pair, so called because they're a pair of angles formed on a line, right? Now, the important thing is not recognizing that a linear pair, right, is the result of having adjacent plus supplementary. Adjacent being the fact that these two angles are touching, right? They're touching. They share a side length and they share a line for a base, right? In actuality, the important thing is that we can go backwards, okay? So when I'm working in a problem, for example, this one, right? If I was working with a problem like this and they said, okay, you have this angle, it's 120, right? I would immediately recognize that I also know this angle. This angle has to be 60. How do I know that? Because again, I see that there is a linear pair here. Even if the line keeps going down below, right, I can see that this fork shape has been made. So I am able to fill in things if I know one half of the angles on that fork, right? Very natural result. That's the kind of thing you're going to be doing in these problems, right? When they tell you find the missing angle values, okay, I'm going to look at this and I'm going to see that it's a linear pair, even if it wasn't highlighted for me. I need to be able to look for that fork shape and recognize it. So the useful thing here is that we're working backwards with the definition, not a linear pair is adjacent and supplementary, right? So not starting with being told it's supplementary, but starting by seeing the linear pair and using that to be able to know I can predict the other angle because it's supplementary. All right? Linear pairs and interior angle sums from the previous video are all you really need for this unit. Vertical angles and exterior angles, our next two videos, just follow naturally from these two things. So if you're very comfortable with linear pairs and interior angles, you'll be able to recreate those things whenever you get a little stuck, okay? So I would really strongly recommend firmly understanding linear pairs and where to find them, okay? But once you feel a good grasp, check out the next two videos, vertical angles and exterior angles. I'll see you then.